What's going on, guys? Box of Beats here, and today I'm making this video to show you guys my setup and what I use. A lot of you guys have been sending DMs and emails asking me what equipment I use and what you guys can use to get started, and we're going to go over a few of those here today. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. So the first unit I want to share with you guys is my synthesizer. Now this synthesizer is the Sequential Prophet Rev 2. This is actually an 8 voice. It also comes in 16. And this thing is an absolute beautiful analog synth. It comes with an array of different presets that you guys can utilize. I typically use this for its presets as is. A lot of it sounds full. A lot of them sound beautiful and elegant the way they came. This will run you about $2,500 brand new out the door. So, you know, it's typically supposed to stay in the studio, but obviously I take it with me in all my videos and everywhere we film. It's just, you know, a pricier piece of equipment, and it's meant for in-studio use. In my opinion. The next unit we're jumping into right here is the Boss RC-505 MK2. This is the newer version. There's also the MK1, but this is the one that I use. This is essentially my DAW. This is where all my sounds come into. They all run into here, and they basically, this is what I use to loop everything. I get a lot of messages about the reverb that I use, and honestly, it's the one that's already built preset into this loop station. As you guys can see here, reverb, it gives you the ability to affect the timing, the pre-delay, the density, all sorts of stuff, and you can do it in real time, which is really nice as I'm performing. If I want the reverb to be more heavy, it's completely wet. If I want it to be less, we move it to the dry side. But this is a beautiful effect on a beautiful loop station. I love using it. It's the only vocal effect that I use on my voice. Brand new, this will run you about $600. Sweetwater, by the way, I love Sweetwater. I order all my gear off Sweetwater, so that's where I got this one. Now the next unit is the Akai MPC Live 2. This thing is an incredible, powerful unit. I take all of my drum samples, percussion samples from Splice, and you connect via Wi-Fi to the internet, and whenever you download new sounds within Splice, you're able to sync them automatically into the MPC Live 2. But all my drum sounds, all the sounds that my drums and everything, percussion, sampling, you know, I have like rain and thunder, you know, it's all programmed into the MPC, and it's a really nice unit to be able to add different elemental sounds and percussion. And this loops right into my loop station. Now, before I used to, let me turn this off. So before it was just my MPC, my loop station, and my synth, the units that you guys see in all of my videos. But as of the last, I'd say about month, I started using a MIDI keyboard, which is the one you see in front of you, the Launchkey 49 by Novation. This is an amazing unit as well. And the reason why I'm using this is because obviously, as all of this is analog pretty much, the synth has only the presets that come with it that I can really manipulate and use during my live show. But of course, that ends up being limiting. I can't use any other sounds outside of it. So I use Ableton, and I use plugins like Serum, and I use plugins like Massive to be able to acquire new sounds, run them through my laptop here, through the 3.5, it goes to my mixer, the mixer goes out into my loop station, and then I can hear all the sounds, it's coming from my headphones right there, that come from the plugins. So now I have an entire new library of sounds, and you know, I like to explore and find new sounds and stuff that I can utilize and run those into the MIDI. So my microphone is next. I use the Shure SM7DB. This thing is great. I use it because obviously when I go out and I perform, It does a really great job of eliminating environmental sounds. Not entirely, it's impossible. It runs off phantom power, so it is a very sensitive mic, but it's typically used for like podcasts and things like that because it does a really great job of capturing the sound in close quarters and eliminating the sound that's mostly in the environment. So this is a wonderful mic to use, and it's an incredible mic to utilize outdoors for what I do specifically. So that's why I like to use it out there. Another question that I get often asked is, Brandon, you're outdoors. How does your mic cancel all the sound? Well, besides it having done that well enough on its own and eliminating sound, what I end up doing is here on my loop station on the mic channel, I think you can see that it says mute. So whenever I'm not utilizing the microphone, I mute it. And then when I am using it, I just unmute it. And if you really pay close attention to the videos that I post on my social media and you listen with headphones, you'll be able to hear when I turn it on and off, because that environmental noise kind of seeps into the background on its own. And, you can just kind of hear it for what it does. Like, it's obviously, if I'm on the boardwalk and there's a lot of people around talking, there's music playing from restaurants and vendors on the side, you'll hear it in the background once I unmute it. But it does a really great job of canceling out sound on its own, and it does a great job of capturing what goes into it. The headphones I use are the Sennheiser HD 280 Pros. These are running about $100. These are just, great all around. Have a really great sound, big bang for your buck. Forgot to mention the price of the Novation keyboard. This runs about $200 and something, $250, I believe, like maybe $240. I think I also forgot to mention the price on the Akai. The Akai is going to run about $1,300 brand new. Remember, Sweetwater all day, every day, all day long, baby. Now, since I'm using my MIDI in addition to my synthesizer, I have my one output coming from Ableton with all the preset sounds and the plugins. The other ones, all my other sounds coming from the MPC Live 2, and then obviously my synth. Now I have 3 units running into my loop station, which before I only had 1 and 2 inputs to go in with to go into, and then it has 2 mic inputs as well. Now I had to get a small 4-channel mix. Well, it's 8-channel, but I'm using 3 of them. 1, 2, and 3. These are 3 channels. Now they're running out into my loop station through 1 channel, and now I'm able to use 3 different units and run them all into a mixer. Before, I only had 2, so I was able to just run those into 1 and then run that into 2, the next one into 2, and then it would run out here through the main left and right. For those of you who ask, what should you get someone who's just starting, something that's a little bit more cost effective. Now, this doesn't turn on, but basically, because this is my very first loop station right here, it's truly my favorite unit because it got me started on everything. This is the TC Helicon Voice Live Play. It comes with really cool vocal effects as well, but you basically plug your mic in there. Look how many times I plugged into my mic. It warped the metal. You can see it. Man, this thing was my baby for a long time. And it just got a looping program in it that allows you to just be very simple. It's a 1-track loop station, so you can just record and dub on top. In comparison to this one, it has 5 tracks, as you can see right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will run you a couple hundred, not bad at all. You might be able to find them used for even cheaper. Well, it's actually been a long time since I looked up the price on this one. Maybe it is even cheaper, but TC Helicon Voice Live Play, vocal effects, really great stuff. I did mention earlier the RC-505 MK2. This is the older unit. This is something that I also used for a long time, but now it's just sitting here on my shelf for memory since I got the new one. So that's my setup. That's what I use. Remember, as an artist, you're always trying to evolve. So this might change in the near future to different units or different plugins or whatever, but this is what I'm using now. I hope this video was informative and helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. And thanks guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe and we'll see you next time.